Hello and welcome to Fixed, the podcast by the Fixed Media where we unpack media insight and take you behind the scenes of editorial decision, strategy and innovation in the industry. I'm Orsi and I will be your host today. Before we dive in, subscribe, follow, and if you like what you hear, support us at thefix.media. Today, we're going to talk with Vjosa Cerkini, award-winning journalist for Deutsche Welle, and we're going to talk about long-form videos and how can you make them successful today, especially in the time where everyone is talking about TikTok. Hi, Vjosa, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Very happy to have you here. So tell us a little bit about yourself. As what I see lately that is very interesting for me is that you are also holding these trainings for young girls, trying themselves out in recording movies, documentaries. Can you tell us a little bit about this mission that you are on currently?
I started, I'm working now for international media in Germany, but also in US since 10 years now. And also I produce documentaries and, they got recognition internationally also, all of them. So after I saw that my work is having so much impact in different continents, and also how powerful the images are, and also the documentaries and the videos. I started to collaborate with Women's Voices Now in Los Angeles, and since January 2024, I'm representing them for the whole Europe, and we are doing work globally with girls in US, in Africa, in Europe, and soon in Asia also. Since then I started to offer basically workshops for girls about filmmaking, documentaries, video journalism, and teach young girls about the strength of video journalism and in general videos. So I see that young people nowadays they use very much the social media, and these days the impact of the videos is really huge. For that reason, is the key. Videos are the key of achieving the impact that you want through social media. So you need whatever the girls need is like just to learn the basics, but also to learn how you can visualize your ideas, and also learning to do films is an incredible combination that you can use even your voice and just bring the stories to the people. And this is the reason why I'm working now so closely with the girls all over the world, and specifically with youngsters, and teaching them and bringing them by how to work in a very professional way, how to be dedicated, and how to be the voice of the others. And it's not important what kind of format. The key of success is that young people need to understand why the voices matter basically, and how they can combine even, for example, the knowledge about camera, about editing process, and also how to tell the story visually, and then the story itself, of course. This is the most incredible thing what you can do. Just prepare young people to be the voice of the others. That's the most important part, and this is just the beginning. I'm working now with girls in Germany, in Nigeria, in Ukraine soon, so Italy, Spain, Kosovo. In Los Angeles, we had even this summer our film academy. So basically, we are everywhere, and this is the power of filming and producing videos.
Why girls only? Was it also something that came with the association, or you were also thinking about that you want to empower girls only?
Because I started to work globally with Women's Voices Now, and this is the reason why we decided together to give the opportunity the girls to to get knowledge for free, and also to be part of the huge network of filmmaker that we have, and also to be um, the voice of the other girls. We know that women, of course, that are they are more discriminated in every society, and young girls especially. So from now we start to prepare strong leaders, and many of the girls I work with have powerful, untold stories, but lack confidence or resources. I observe a strong emotional drive and create instinct. They just need the right tools. And the most important lesson I teach is your voice matters. Once they believe that, technical skills follow. And I also emphasize that authenticity beats perfection, and they don't need to imitate Hollywood. They need just to represent their communities and realities truthfully. But I think the best combination is my international journalistic experience now, for 10 years working for the biggest media in the world, producing documentaries that are screened all over the world, and all this experience, um, that I get as that I have as a journalist, I want just to share through the girls, but also youngsters. So basically, the focus through women's voices now is with girls, but I work with young people everywhere. So if I don't let boys out of the mentorship program that I have, but also the workshops that we are doing. For example, in Austria, when I was at the University of Graz last year, we had a mixed group. So basically, it was a group of 12 young people from Southeast Europe, and we had even from 12 participants, six of them were boys. So basically, we have also mixed groups. We want just to work with all of them, but the focus is of course girls, because they need more help, I think. And yeah, this is the way how we do it.
So let's talk now about the content, because I reckon when you're talking about doing videos and documentaries, these are long format videos. As a journalist now, when everything is about making all the information short, sweet, and just do short form videos, what do you think? How can you be still relevant and successful with long form videos? And especially now with TikTok, because I also saw that your content, you also active in different platforms as well. So how are you adapting different stories for different formats? Because a story with a long format video, it's not the same as you would take some parts for TikTok.
Nowadays, we are in this digital media transition basically, and everything is changing every day. Even with the artificial intelligence, everything is developing and changing very fast, but we need to adapt. So what why I'm saying this, to make long form videos successful today, you must combine strong storytelling with strategic distribution. What does that mean? A success hinges on crafting compelling narratives that keep viewer engaged throughout the runtime. That means a clear structure, emotional stakes, strong characters, and visual pacing. At the same time, creators need to be intentional about how they reach the audience. For example, from on YouTube, you need, of course, to do a strategic partnership for its distribution and cross promotion on platforms like Instagram or Twitter or X nowadays. Okay, so consistency is tone, style, and release rhythm also helps build audience loyalty. So, why is important to be present in every platform? It's really important because, for example, if you do documentary that is 45 minutes, you can in details explain the whole story. But in order to achieve all the whole audience, you need to be everywhere. You need to be on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok, on X, on every possible platform. And you need to adapt, for example, use basically your material that is longer, like a documentary, and then prepare even short parts for other platforms like Instagram or TikTok. Especially, you need just to adapt with the style that of course TikTok videos, what kind of format they have and all this stuff. You need just to respect the rules and then produce it in that way, because trends are changing every day. So you don't have constant format that you say, okay, this is right, this is wrong. So you need only to develop um, a unique style of sharing the same story in different platforms. You need just to adapt to the platforms and to the new developments on social media specifically. But as I mentioned, the strongest combination is the strong storytelling with strategic distribution. Uh, be in every platform present, and just film it in a very incredible way. And if you have, of course, also strong protagonists, you can just share in all the social media platforms, and you will reach as much as possible people everywhere around the world.
About the audience, because as you said, it's better to be on all the platforms with different depth, let's say. Would you say that with this method you can bring in the audience? For example, you can bring someone from TikTok watching the short video to bring on YouTube to watch the long video as well.
This is the way how you need to analyze basically all the platforms, starting from YouTube and then the whole platforms that we mentioned before. Sometimes you can just pick, for example, one sentence of a documentary that you can produce and then publish it on TikTok, and that part of the documentary can achieve millions of people, and can bring them to YouTube in order to watch the whole film. So you need just to work strategically, and of course that use just all platforms, and you're gonna achieve. You never know who's gonna be affected or impacted by your short reel on Instagram, or even 5 seconds video, or just a part of a sequence basically of the film. So use all the platforms, and you never know who will be interested to watch, for example, your film even on YouTube. So nowadays everything is possible. Everything what you need is just be present everywhere, be very well educated, and learn to film in a very professional way, and then nobody can stop you.
Like in the episode. Sounds like we're a great match, and we couldn't be happier. If you'd like to strengthen our bond, support us by donating or joining our membership program. That's it. No more interruptions. Back to the episode.
Perhaps you have some good examples of how to use long form videos in an effective way because you've won a couple of awards yourself. Can you share us with like some examples for us, like a good story, how a good story could be effectively translated into a long format?
For example, you have different ways, platforms that you can watch and see good examples. You can follow, for example, the DW Documentaries platform on YouTube, which is in several languages. The main language is in English. You have also in Spanish, in Farsi language, in German, and in also other languages, in Arabic, for example. You have also for example, the New York Times, the Daily 360, transitionized well into longer documentaries, specifically in their visual investigations team. You have even, for example, examples like Wise News Excel in Raw, impressive field reporting that works best in long form. And as I mentioned, DW documentaries, BBC Africa Eye, and Al Jazeera's People in Power are excellent examples of journalistic integrity meeting cinematic storytelling. So each example succeeds because it blends depth, human stories, and clarity. This is the way how you can you can learn, and you can achieve millions of people without even expecting. Everything what you need is, as a journalist, to go deep and to investigate, for example, a crime, and find all sides, like the victims, the people that did the crimes, for example, and then analyze that with a very strong visual part, and you need to have also clarity into your pieces. And this is the way how you can, for example, share a good example of long form video used efficiently in journalism. This is the way how you can learn from the best, basically. And I published in several media in Germany, like at ARD, public television, Deutsche Welle, DW, but even my own films, they were screened in different festivals in US, in Europe, and also in Africa. So basically, my work as a journalist got recognized because I definitely used these three elements. I investigated very deep on that. I found very strong human stories and people that share their stories, and I was very clear in the whole storytelling how I did it. I combined it with very strong footages, and at the end, of course, that the work were recognized, and it succeeds, basically.
What kind of stories work best in long form and which ones are better suited for short form?
When it comes to what kind of stories work best in long form and which ones are better suited for short forms, I can just say that the best for long formats are investigations, like I mentioned, investigative researches, historical storytelling, character profiles, crisis reporting with multiple voices, cultural explorations, personal journeys and transformations. And the best short forms are, for example, quick news updates, visual explainers, inspirational quotes or moments, tips, hacks, or calls to action, reactions and trends. For example, if a story has emotional or narrative layers, it needs the space that long forms allows. So basically, um, you can also do the difference when you watch the videos. You need just to be very simple and clear for the short formats. But what does that mean, short formats? Because an investigation that is also 10 minutes, we can call it short format, but that is in journalism a long format, basically. So shorts for me are TikTok videos. For example, 5 seconds footage, or 20 seconds or 1 minute video. This is for me a short format. So for that, as I mentioned before, you need to have, you can just do quick news updates, visual explainers, or something that can get the attention of the people in seconds. Things are changing, but I think even the trend of using short videos, like just 1 minute or 50 seconds or whatever, or even 15 seconds, they are just a trend. Because what can you learn in 15 seconds? You can just see one sequence, and that's it. This short formats, or TikToks, or reels, can be just a hook in order to get the attention to watch the long formats. I think the long formats, they will never get um, irrelevant, because at the end of the day, when we want to watch something, we go to the biggest platforms and maybe watch even documentaries for hours, or films. You need just to analyze more and see what how you can get, maybe for example, the attention of the people. And I said also what kind of stories work best in long format and which ones are better suited for short forms. But you can do also a good combination. Everything works together. just use all platforms, find a strong narrative, strong protagonist, investigate deep, and at the end you're gonna have a very great product. But you need, of course, also to be very well educated on that, and also to have the skills in order to pick the very unique angles of each story.
So, do you think that small newsrooms can start producing short, long form videos as well? Or is it better to do everything in team? Is it possible at all if a small newsroom wants to start on their own?
I'm talking from the perspective as a journalist. So if I'm talking about professional level, definitely always is better to work in teams. Why? Because the person that is the main face of the documentary, it's impossible to do it everything on his own or her own. So basically, in order to do a very high quality journalistic piece, visually, and very strong narrative and strong protagonist and all this stuff, you need to have a team. Mostly I film, for example, my videos and everything on my own. So basically when I report, I'm the only person that is filming, editing, interviewing, translating, and also just share and reporting at the end alone. But it's not the same. You can produce everything on your own, but the quality of that content is not the same, and it cannot be on the same quality if, for example, if you will have a team. Of course, that can work much better than if you film alone and everything. If you are just a content creator, like somebody that is showing their faces all the time on Instagram, on TikTok, and YouTube, for example, YouTubers or people that are not professionals, like journalists or um, somebody that has a responsibility to report about what is happening in a country, or telling stories and reporting on crimes, it's another thing. For example, for YouTubers, for TikTokers, people that just film themselves 24 hours, for them, even if you just have a smartphone, you can produce whatever you can. You can just go walk in, for example, through your house or your street, and you can produce content. But that does not mean that that is a quality product that you're doing. So we need just to separate this two ways of sharing the stories, or mentioning journalists and content creators. It's not the same. So basically, journalists have the bigger responsibility on everything they do, and content creators are very easy for them. It's much more easy to do everything they want. Okay, when we talk about the perspective of the biggest media in the world, um, to be a video journalist, or to be alone as a reporter and filming and editing and everything, um, every media is preferring journalists to film and to do everything on their own. But in my opinion, I would not recommend that, because it's impossible for you as a person to go and to finish everything on your own. If you want to produce high quality content, it's impossible one person to do the work of five people, translating, interviewing, organizing, filming, checking the lights, checking the mics, um, checking the footages, using the drone. It's just impossible. Realistically, it's in reality, it's really hard. I do many of my things on my own. I film, I edit, I produce, and everything, and they are good quality uh, reportings. But I would recommend, for example, for the biggest news media, but also others, to work in teams better, at least to have a camera person, or at least to have somebody that can help you to do half of the work. I know that the trends are always to reduce the budgets and to have less costs and to have less people to work on producing things. But I don't recommend that. Another thing is that if you want to start local media, for example, in Europe, in any country, and you want to develop your page or you want to develop new media, then you can people can start in their countries a new media. They can open it, they can report. Even with smartphones nowadays, everything is possible, but that's more only social media content. But if you want, for example, to produce a long format like a film or documentary with a phone, it's impossible. We need just to be real, you know. You can film with your phone. You can have, for example, nice footages. You can speak. You can do good explainers with that. You can be in front of the camera. Social media content, which can work definitely very much to reach a huge audience in every country. But um, if you want to do, for example, a long format or a documentary or something that you want to represent um, all over the world, which, you know, I always recommend, even if you do a short footage, you need to do it in a very professional way, because if you develop your visual storytelling, your strong visual storytelling, people gonna know your films. Followers that follow you, they gonna see they gonna follow you in everything you want. So basically, what I can recommend to young content creators but also journalists is like, okay, use produce content everywhere, but try to develop your own style. Don't be another copy of somebody that is succeeding in US or in Germany or somewhere else. You need just to find your way of storytelling. Don't be copy paste of somebody else, because we are every each of us, we have a unique way of storytelling. We have our own way of explaining, and you can not be the same as the other person. You need always to be very well educated to learn more about technical stuff. Technical skills are the key. And definitely for small newsrooms, for example, in when we talk now about Hungary, or when we talk about Poland, or Kosovo, or Southeast Europe in general, but even Germany, um, it's possible even for you to produce a long format. You can even film, for example, a show, or you can even produce only short reels. You can start your own newsroom. But how big is the quality of the things that you produce is another thing. So if you want to be well known just as a person that is producing content and getting a lot of viewers without any quality element or whatever, you can do that and achieve many people, but your content can be trash. So it depends on the person, it depends on the content creator, but also journalist or media newsroom, in which level of professionalism do you want to be ranked. And for me, is always the best advice that I can give to everybody is just try to be as much as possible professional. And in that moment, when you take care of every sequence and every second of your stories, visually, the way how you tell the story and everything, people gonna recognize you, and whatever the others do, they're gonna come back to you and they're gonna follow your work on everything you do. This is the strategy that I would recommend to everybody.
We already talked a little bit about what can be a mistake or a problem when someone trying to dabble into long formats. What do you think? What are the most common mistakes, pitfalls that people who try to start with long form videos doing?
For example, people they are dragging run times without purpose, over explaining instead of trusting visuals, unfocused narrative arcs, neglecting the first 30 seconds. Viewers often drop off early. Weak sound quality, which can ruin your engagement. Um, for example, also the most important thing is underestimating editing, like transitions, pacing, or rhythm, or everything in long formats. And sometimes people that are not, for example, don't have a lot of, they are not a lot informed about the videos. And this is the reason why I'm mentioning that you need to take care of each sequence of your video, because even if you just put a wrong transition between two shots, people gonna check it. And not only weak sound quality, but also weak footage quality, longer footages, not concrete, not the right answers, just putting long formats material without content. The biggest problem is that everything I mentioned before are the common mistakes that people do. They just um, don't put so much focus on every detail, and then they use very long shots without having a clear story, and also the combination, the transitions, everything what you do on your film plays a very crucial role if people gonna continue to watch your films or even your short videos. Everything is the technique, basically, the technical part combined with the content, a very good content, not only talking about something, but put your focus and concentrate on quality. If you have quality content, people gonna come on their own, but you need to do it in a very attractive way in order to get the attention of people, because nowadays we are bombed from informations, from videos, from platforms, and we scroll all the time. So in order to grab the attention of the audience, you need just to be very unique on everything you do. And to achieve that, it's really hard sometimes, but if you continue and do quality content, people gonna look after you, not after the people that just put trash content on social media.
We are slowly finishing our session, so maybe for final thoughts, let's think about this. Do you think that now that TikTok is pretty much everywhere, and people and even small newsrooms are moving toward producing short. So when I say short format, I'm also thinking about TikTok, so something that is truly short format videos. And now that you were talking about long format videos, what I can see is that it's a much more longer way to succeed in this version than in short format. Do you think that this is true? Do you think that to be successful with long format videos is much more, not just difficult, but also requires more focus and concentration?
It's harder to get the attention of the people with long formats, but if you if you once get the attention of people with your long format, they're gonna come again. This is the reason why I like more long formats, but always you need to adapt your storytelling also to shorter formats like Instagram Reels or TikToks. You need to use all the platforms in order to get the attention about your product. I always see, for example, a piece or a story as a product. So I have a product and I need to think, how can I sell it to the audience? Basically, if you have a long format, you need to use all the short social media formats or shorter formats in order um, to achieve or to reach as much people as possible. For example, in short formats, you need to jump in immediately, like hook fast, simplify the message, and use bold visuals is not about one idea or one emotion. It's everything about one idea, one emotion. In long form formats, you earn the audience trust over time. This is exactly what I said. If somebody will watch your long piece and they liked it, they're gonna come again to watch your long pieces. So you get the audience trust over time. You can build tension, layer context, and unpack complexity, but it allows for slower reveals, deeper interviews, and nuance. Both formats share the need for strong openings, but the pacing, editing, and narrative layering differ significantly. So basically, this is the key. Use the all social media platforms, and people gonna come back to you. It's not on your short format or long format that you do, but it's up to the strong storytelling that you have. Strong openings, deep investigation, deep research, strong protagonist, very strong narrative, and then people gonna come, because you need to just always to find the right angle of telling the story. But for that, you need, first of all, a very long experience, but also you need to know exactly what social media wants and how long formats work. So basically, you need to be very well informed about social media in general.
All right, Vjosa, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, dear. It was a pleasure. I hope I had the chance to share my knowledge.
To everyone listening, thanks for tuning into Fixed. Subscribe wherever you get your podcast, follow the Fix online, and yes, we're now also on TikTok. Want to support our work? Visit the Fix.media and explore our new membership program.